So there we go. Now we're live. Greetings, David. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name because I only hear it through Al's accent. So Heavener is how I'd pronounce it. But what's the correct? Oh, sorry, that couldn't hear them.
That's Heaven with an ER.
Heaven, Heavener. There we go. Thanks for joining us.
And that's the way that I describe it as well.
That's nice. So yeah, June's here. She says hello. Welcome, David. Hi, June. Nice to have you here.
Yeah.
So yes. So if Al wants to start, what have you got?
Want me to start? Okay. Well, let's see. Well, I figured we start kind of at the beginning. So you started doing music, correct?
That's right, Al. Yes, I was a songwriter in Bill, and I'm lucky enough to have some hit records, country music. And, we go out to LA to pitch my songs. Somebody thought I was me to audition, but the problem I gave a Clint impersonation, and I got the role in the.
And I actually reviewed that movie a few weeks back. It's called, it has a couple of names. It has Massacre, Chinatown Connection, Border of Tong, all kind of stuff. And you were definitely
the guy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you were definitely the highlight of the movie. Because it was hard to figure out what was going on.
But you know what's funny about that movie? I was.
Is the sound breaking up for you, Al?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. The sound's gone. Okay.
I'm sorry. I don't know what the problem is. Maybe
I want to get random words.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what's really going on here. Maybe I'll move to a different location. Okay. But yeah, just let me know if you all can hear me.
Yes, absolutely. Right now.
Okay, so you can hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe I needed to move away from that artificial intelligence portal that I'm sitting at. So, all right, is that better?
I can hear that. That's fine.
All right, but what I was saying is, no, I was not an actor when I made that movie. I was just a songwriter that wanted to get my music in the movie. But the funny thing about it is because I did that movie, that spawned 40 some odd other movies, which I wrote and directed and starred in, but yet they never did use my music in that movie.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm like you, Al. I had no clue what I read. You know what? I read the script. And of course, I'd never read a script before. And I told my roommate, who was an actor, I said, "This is terrible, isn't it?" I said, "I don't know what a script's supposed to look like, what it reads like." I said, "This is terrible. I hope the movie doesn't turn out like the script." And he agreed with me. Unfortunately, it kind of did turn out like the script. But, I just feel like me being in it as a cop, I needed to do the best job I could do, And so with the little knowledge and training I had, I'm sorry, that's all you're going to get. So there it is.
Well, your charisma definitely shined through in that movie. For, like I said, even though that was your first movie, it looked like you knew what you were doing. So that's the good part.
Well, I was a good actor. At least I could act like I knew what I was doing. So thank you for that.
So what who influenced you when you started acting? Did you look at anybody, or was like, hey, they're really great,
I did. When I was 10 years old, I used to cut school and take a bus into downtown Louisville and they had matinees during the day down there at these. They had the big old cinemas. I don't know if you remember, but the old theaters, they were, in vogue then. And I sat and watched a movie called Guess Who's Coming to Dinner 10 times with Sidney Poitier. And I think Catherine Hepburn in it. I think so. Spencer Tracy.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of my favorite movies. And then I saw a movie called Midnight Cowboy when I was 11 years old, which, but nowadays they would haul you off to jail because that was a movie that should have been rated. Well, it was rated XXX at that time.
Okay.
So a lot of the movies I saw were considered art house movies. They were very story driven. So yeah, those are my favorite movies growing up as a little kid. And then of course, when I was introduced to Charles Bronson and Clint Eastwood, it was kind of opened up a whole world of heroes for me. The anti-hero.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Gareth, please chime in anytime you like.
Yeah, some people want to say hello to David. So
Yes.
CBF says hello.
How are you doing? Good to see
Patrick
you.
from Have Cheetah Will View says hello.
Hi, Cheaton.
The movie chats are here. Hello.
That's
Mr. Dan and Horror. Hello, Patrick, and the rest of us.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, what's the name? Stanton. Yeah. So you've had a lot of celebrities in your films that you've made yourself. Like, was it Frank Stallone, Burt Ward, Shannon Tweed, Tony Curtis, Isaac Hayes, Martin Landau, and many more. So did you reach out to them, or was it something else that people got on board?
Well, at the beginning, I probably reached out to a few of them, but then after I started making movies and kind of, I don't know, for lack of a term, had success and became known in that world, people, then they reached out to me, their agents and managers. And then, of course, I signed a 6-picture deal with HBO back in the 90s. And with that name attached to me, I was able to get some big hitters, And I had a lot of those guys at the time, Tony Curtis, Martin Landau, and those guys, But yeah, I was very fortunate to work with what I would consider the golden age of Hollywood, even though I wasn't in it. I worked with guys that had been in it. They were kind of coming off a career or had a lull, and I learned a lot from them. I studied them, and some of them became very good friends of mine.
Oh, that's nice.
Very cool. Very cool. Oh, let's see.
But I see you have a poster in the background, Kill Crate.
It's a good pose. Al's got the Blu-ray here. He's going to show it.
I've got the new Blu-ray.
The new Blu-ray.
And the old VHS.
Oh my goodness. The company called me about a month ago and said, we'd like to talk to David Heavener. We're re-releasing Kill Crazy. And I couldn't believe it. They were releasing 4K and they found the actual original negative somewhere in a vault.
Awesome.
And I said, but I don't really, do interviews like that on my films anymore. But they said, well, we'll pay you. And I said, okay, then I'll take it. Okay. So I did an interview, and they were very nice. The company is an amazing company, and I just appreciate the fact that young people are now getting into some of the product that we made back in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are there any future releases possibly coming? Do you know of?
Yeah. You mean of some of my old stuff? Are they going to re-release it, or I heard, now, you hear things, but you don't know for sure. But I heard that there was a movie called Twisted Justice. I heard that might be re-released. And then Eye of the Stranger with Martin Landau.
Okay.
Yeah. And but I'm making a TV series, which will also be a standalone movie called The Last Evangelist. I play a preacher. I play a cop that turns preacher, but with the Bible in one hand, a gun in the other, I set out to find the Antichrist. That's what I'm filming right now. And that'll be out. The first episode is out right now. They can see it on davidheavener.tv.
Yeah.
Episode will be out in July.
The link is in the chat, and it'll be in the description as well. So if you want to check that out, it's at the top of the chat. I noticed some of your films on the DVDs, especially, are released by Troma Pictures.
Yeah, that's kind of a right, isn't it? I don't know how that happened. They found a library and bought a library with a lot of my movies in it. Michael and Lloyd and those guys, they're great guys, but it seems like a very odd couple, oxymoron to be with Troma. Even though I think they're cool. I mean, I happen to actually, there's a couple of their movies I actually sit and actually watch all the way through because they're so bizarre,
That is true.
Yeah. Very true. So I know each movie is a bit different, but like back in the day, how did you guys go about like funding these like low budget action movies?
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah, I mean, they came in different ways. At that time, there were many companies that were low budget action distributors, and so they would put the money up. Sometimes we would go out and raise our own money. I don't know if you ever saw the movie Ed Wood, but when I watched the scene about how he went to a church and raised money through some kind of church, I laughed because we did that too. We went to this whacked out church in Vegas where millionaires went to, and we held hands and prayed with them and asked them to give us their money. Said God would really honor that, and they did. And we made Angel Blade. So, which is obviously a movie you would show in church. So I don't know. I mean, just like the beauty about this world of indie filmmaking, and this is why people go, why didn't you jump into the studio system? I had a couple of opportunities. There was a window open, but you couldn't have the control. You couldn't do what you do with indie films. It wasn't fun. A lot of these guys I worked with in my movies came out of the studio system. Some of them were still in it. And they would look at me and say, David, I love being on the set. I love working with you. I love doing this. You go, man, I make a lot of money in the studios, but boy, is it a pain in the butt, And so I just never quite fit into the studio system.
Yeah. That's not bad. Yeah, if you're having fun outside of it, why get the extra stress?
Right, exactly. It's like Gene Hackman. The guy's 93 years old now. He's been out for almost 20 some odd years, but he said something that I could really relate to. He goes, you know what? He goes, I quit because I just couldn't take the pressure of 20 people telling you what to do at the same time, and they're all telling you to do different things. On my set, I only deal with 3 people, me, myself, and I, and director, producer, and actor. And usually I'm telling myself the same thing. I don't have, So anyway, Gene Hackman said, if I can make a movie with 2 guys in my living room and I wouldn't have to leave, then I'd be happy filming. And, so I kind of feel that way in a way.
I can understand that.
Yeah. So is it difficult wearing all these different hats?
Yeah.
During a single production?
No, not really. It's actually easier because you don't have people you have to argue with.
Right.
No, I find it. What's difficult is when I get somebody on the set who's a hired hand who thinks they know more than me and they want to try to pull rank.
Okay.
And then fire them, That's what makes it difficult. But no, I don't mind wearing hats.
Is there a favorite hat that you like to wear?
Well, yeah, I like acting. I mean, I really do. It's my art, But yeah, I like acting. Directing, I do because I do it pretty good, and to pay someone that is as good as me, it would cost me a lot of money, so I don't. Writing, I don't mind. Yeah, I like writing.
So how do you work on the script as you film as well, or do you have the script, it's locked, we're just doing that?
No, I usually lock the script and then I just do whatever I feel like I need to shoot. I don't let the script dictate the story. When I did Prime Target with me and Tony Curtis, I'll never forget the first day on the shoot. We both rehearsed the dialogue and we both had it down to a T, and it was really good. And right before we rolled the camera, Tony looked at me, he goes, "Do you really want to do it the way we rehearsed it?" And I said, "Not really." I said, "Let's see what happens." So we did, every scene you saw was improv based upon the story and the dialogue, but it was improv. Okay. And it turned out to be, you know, it got a theatrical release. It was HBO film, and it was pretty good for what it was, you know.
Yeah. He's got,
do you?
Jay says evening. Evening, David.
Good evening.
Stanton says evening as well. Even though I'm guessing it's afternoon where you two are.
Right. Must be like 9 o'clock at night there in the UK.
Yeah, it's 7:30 here because it'll change next week.
Wacky time zones and time changes.
Yeah, it's bad enough, but normal. Well, hours change.
Yeah.
So you've worked in a bunch of different genres as well. You've done like action, horror, sci-fi, all that stuff. Is there a particular genre that you like to lean into or create?
I think action with some drama. Last Evangelist has some action in it, but it's got a lot of drama, but it's kind of an action type hero in a dramatic setting. Right. And if anybody wants more about Last Evangelist, they can go to lastevangelist.com if they're interested. But no, I like the action, definitely.
Definitely. Is it doing your own stunts? Is that fun, or do you, as you're a man with many hats, is it too risky sometimes?
I don't like to do my own stunts. I mean, I do my own stunts. I don't like to do death-defying stunts.
Sure.
Maybe when I'm older, but not now. I'm you know, I want to live as long as I can, and so I get stunt guys to do it.
Okay.
You know, I'll do a high fall if it's 8 or 10 feet. And I've got a really good pad, but I'm not gonna go out and get crazy and do crazy things like I used to.
Sure.
Right. Well, I know at one point somebody labeled you as a martial artist. Did you ever get to study martial arts?
Yeah, it's funny because somebody sent me this article the other day, written, I don't know, years ago, called Cracked, and it was listing guys that were considered action stars who couldn't fight, and got like David Carradine and they had some known guys, and they included me with them, and I felt honored. I said honored. The truth is, no, I didn't. When I started, I couldn't fight. I mean, I did a lot of street fighting for real when I was a kid growing up. But I didn't do martial arts, but I started studying with Benny Urquidez, Benny the Jet.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Because I did a movie with him. He was the bad guy, a movie called Raging Cajun with Charlene Tilton. And so from that movie on, I started studying because I had to fight in the ring, with Benny. And I had to learn enough not to get killed because he would really get close to you and hit you, So then from then on, after I ended the movie, I kept studying with him. And I started taking other classes. And so now I do Taekwondo, but I only have 5 or 6 moves that I do. I stretch. I do it for my own personal. I don't go out and fight anybody. I don't do any of that crazy stuff. But do 4 or 5 moves in any movie now, and it'll sell.
Nice. Because I interviewed Richard Norton a couple of weeks ago, and he's in one of your films, and he's a martial artist as well.
So you ran into Richard Norton? Is that what you said?
I've interviewed Richard Norton. I spoke to him a couple of weeks ago.
How's Richard doing? I haven't talked to him in years.
Yeah, he's doing well. He's in Australia, of course, in Melbourne, doing stunt coordination work. So he's very happy.
Well, tell him I said hi. And yeah, he was in a movie I did called Fugitive X, Innocent Target. And he's a great guy and an amazing fighter. Now, I'm not to that level, so please don't. I don't want you to understand me, okay? And also I had, as a distributor, I distributed a lot of Richard's movies too. So that was kind of fun.
Nice.
And you've also got to work a lot, it seems, with Joe Estevez.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, good old
It seems like he shows up in about every other movie.
Yeah, my running joke with Joe is that if the world blew up, the only thing left in the world would be cockroaches and Joe Estevez.
Love it.
Because the guy is in every movie that you turn on, independent movie, and he plays all kinds of characters, and he's just a fantastic guy and a fantastic actor. He's a good friend after all these years, and he's been in several of my movies, but I've also starred in movies that he's guest starred in. I'm trying to think which ones they were. I did a movie with Kathy Shower. I starred with Kathy Shower in a movie called L.A. Goddess, and that was with Jeff Conaway, who passed away, bless his heart, his soul.
Yes.
A great guy. Jeff was a great guy. James Hong was in it. Joe was in it. Kathy was in it, but yeah, there's been 2 or 3 I've starred in with him. And then of course he was in a couple of my HBO films too.
All right, I got a question from the chat from Patrick. How cheated will you? Have you worked with Dean Cain or Kevin Sorbo?
No, I haven't. I've had that question asked because these guys come from a faith-based background, but I haven't really. But I'm sure, hopefully I will down the road. I'm actually coming back to Los Angeles in June. I'm going to make a sequel, I can't say right now, to one of my popular movies that were out in the 80s, doing a sequel to it, which will come out in 2024. Awesome. And of course, I'm going to be filming Last of Angeles out there. So who knows, maybe I'll have them in one of the episodes.
Why not?
That would be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
So what's been one of the biggest issues that have come up while you're making these low budget movies?
The biggest issues. Not really. I can't think of any. Really. I mean, no, the issues on low budgets are the same as on big budgets. They're just smaller issues. Bigger budgets, bigger issues. So I don't really. I think that you have to be careful because you got to make movies that make money. So if you think of a movie that just really bombs, it really hurts the momentum in your career as a filmmaker. Not so much as an actor, because somebody will hire you for your name. They don't care if the last movie you did well or not. The one you did before that did fantastic. But if you're a filmmaker and you made a couple of bad movies that didn't sell, it's kind of hard to get a distributor to give you any money.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you how I discovered you. I was about 10 or 11, and I was at a mom and pop video store, and we were scanning the VHSs, and all of a sudden we see Kill Crazy, and I see that name, David Heavener, and like I told you earlier, that's actually one of my family's names. So I was like, "Whoa, this guy has has like my name on it." So like I had to get it. So, so we got it. Me and my mom watched it. We loved it, and we've been fans ever since.
Well, God bless you, Al. I appreciate that. It's good to have. It's good to know that somebody that is connected to your family also likes to watch your movies. So you're the only one in my family that watches my movies that has the name Heavener. The rest of them
There you
don't.
go. How about that?
What type of director are you? Are you like Clint Eastwood and it's one take and that's it, or are you like Kubrick and 190 thrill, and then we'll see if it's still going good?
That's good. Okay, I'm like Clint Eastwood in the way that my best stuff is my first two takes. Okay, now the first two takes, that's it. It's always the best.
Yeah.
But then I'm like those other guys, and then I end up doing 1,000 takes because I feel like I could do something better, right?
Okay.
But I get into the editing room and I realize it was the first two takes that was the best. So I don't know. I mean, I probably shoot more than I should. Yeah, I'd say I shoot a lot of footage. Yeah.
Have you gone digital with all digital setups and everything?
Oh yeah, everything's digital. This series we're doing, everything's so digital. I mean, it's almost pathetic. It's almost like you don't get out of bed. It can almost make itself, Digital is just so easy and so cheap compared to what film used to cost.
Yeah. So there we go. June's here. She likes your films. Thanks for doing them. Al has given you the names of her films, so that's how she discovered you. So the same, you gave me your list as well.
Appreciate it. Is June's last name Heavener also?
Not anymore. But where's your favorite place that you filmed? Like, because I know that you film kind of all over the place, all over the world and stuff.
Well, I love filming in Los Angeles just because of the vast variety of locations. I love filming in the church that we're in. We're in a 17,000 square foot building. It's an old church built in 1884.
Oh, wow.
That's where we're shooting Last Evangelist. We have a studio there. So I love it there. But other than that, I like LA because LA is so cool. It's like, that's where my tribe is,
Yeah. But it's so versatile too. It has every type of weather and
the beach, mountains, whatever you need, isn't it?
It's all there.
Yep, absolutely.
So Mr. Dan and Horror says he's seen Richard Lynch was in Dragon Force. What was he like? Because I've seen lots of films. I've never known anyone that's actually met him.
Yeah, Richard was in a television show I did called Dragon Fury. I did episode 1 and actually wrote, directed, and I did a cameo in that with the twins. What was the name? 2 girls. I can't think. If y'all can think, let me know who the girl was that I did the scene with Dragon Fury. I can't think of her name. But anyway, Richard Lynch, a really great guy. I think Richard was probably a stage actor, thespian, maybe. He would seem like, from my memory, we're talking, 20 some odd years ago. But I don't even know if Richard is still alive. I'm not really sure if he's still around. I haven't seen him much lately.
No, I'm not sure myself.
I think he passed away.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm double checking. Yeah, he passed away about 10 years ago.
Wow.
Well, I keep checking the actor's obituary too to see who's still alive. I check me every once in a while to see if I'm still alive.
Because you never know, right?
Yeah, someone does fake report it, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I want to remember that girl. She was a twin. It was they were very famous back in the 70s and 80s. When I get off the air, I'll check that out.
I'll look it up.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Let's see.
Susan? No, not Kathy. Oh well. I played a married guy. We were in the bedroom, and she was throwing things at me. And Matt, yeah, and all of a sudden this alien appeared in the bed, and it was a naked lady alien. And from memory,
Was it Judy Landers?
yes, Judy Landers. Thank you,
Right.
Judy. Gosh, I have the Landers sisters. Yours either? I wonder what.
It's time to break up a little bit again, David.
Oh, sorry. Okay, is that any better?
Hang on. Well, we can hear you all right. It's just that your face and picture keeps freezing. So
Yeah.
Okay.
But if it's safe to move.
Yeah. Let me try moving again. And I'll have to head back to the set in just a minute.
Yeah, no problem.
But yeah. So how's that right there? Is that good?
It's still a bit jerky, but we can still
as
hear
long
you.
as
All
we can
right.
hear you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. All right. So you've also gotten to work with Donald G. Jackson, who's known for Hell Comes to Frogtown and the Rollerblade movies and all that stuff. What was he like? Because I've heard some stories about him.
Yeah. Don Jackson and I were very good friends. They don't make him like Don Jackson anymore. He was a true indie. He was a true indie filmmaker, and Don actually worked on one of my movies called Twisted Justice, and he was production manager. But I also was in a couple of his movies. They were just terrible, but they were cool because they were so bad, and he never had a script. One was called something like Hollywood Cops, El Chupacabra.
Right.
We would just meet at a restaurant. He would give us a bunch of money, and we would go out all day and just shoot all this stuff with no script, Me and Erica Estrada and William Smith. You never know when you show up Monday morning at a restaurant with Don Jackson, how many stars are going to show up, not knowing why they're there or what they're going to do, but he just gives them a bucket of cash and we go out and do something,
Sounds fun.
Yeah, he gave me an AK-47. He said, I want you to take this AK-47, act like you're shooting this bush, which is about 4 feet from the camera guy. So I pointed, started shooting, and all of a sudden the bushes started flying all over the place and chopping up. He had live loads in that AK-47, didn't tell me.
Christ.
I told him, you're crazy, man. You're out of your mind. And
Goodness.
yeah, Don Jackson, he was a real trooper. And he and Joe Estevez were very close. I'm sorry I wasn't with Don with Don in his last days. He had cancer and passed away. I wish I would have been. I wasn't in LA at the time. But he was a true filmmaker.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I've always heard really good things about him. So yeah, I just wanted to know your take on it. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right,
Yep.
well, that's.
Yeah, he and Robert Zadar were very close. Robert was in one of my movies. I think Future Effects, and Robert Zadar, he passed away too. God rest his soul. And then Roddy Piper, he was in the last movie he ever made was my movie, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. I actually had the pleasure of meeting him about 2 or 3 years before he passed. Extremely nice guy, like way different than what you would expect.
Right.
Very gentle, very kind. Yeah. And I'll tell you somebody else I enjoyed working with, and it was the last movie he ever did, was Robert Reed from the Brady Bunch.
Yep.
Yeah.
Robert was dying of cancer. I knew it when we hired him. But he was I really enjoyed working with him. And my film was the last film he ever did. It was the one I did with Tony Curtis and Isaac Hayes, and called Prime Target. But such a gentle, kind human being.
Okay. With some of the some of the musicians you get in your films, like Frank Stallone and Isaac Hayes, did you ever sing a jam with them after filming or anything like that? Singing?
No.
Like that?
No, we don't have time. I'm lucky to even be able to. I usually go sleep for about a week after I'm done. Yeah, I should have. We should have, but just didn't do it. I mean, Isaac was a great guy, though. He was always, but he was chasing every woman on the set, including Jenny Lee Harrison, who I was dating at the time. And he was on 3 Company. She was in it. But Isaac Hayes, I loved his music. Shaft and all that. That was classic.
Nice.
Oh yeah. Awesome stuff. With the so you've been working on The Last Evangelist for a while, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been working on Last Evangelist for a while. I'm doing it through crowdfunding. That's why if people want to go to lastevangelist.com, they support me if they like. I'm trying a different avenue just because it's kind of it's a film I'm doing out of love, just because I want to do it. So yeah, I've been working on it for about 3 years, and I shot the first episode last year, and I just now finished yesterday. We're doing pickup shots today. We finished principal photography yesterday on Last Evangelist episode 2.
Nice. And they're all like kind of full length movies.
No, these are 30-minute episodes. They're 30-minute episodes. But if you take 3 of them and you tie them together, they make feature films. They're an hour and a half long. So it's a trilogy. So episode 3 will be a trilogy. It'll be the end of the 3 episodes. And that way you can tie them together as a full-length feature, and it'll come out as a movie. Which we'll do. We'll do that. But then I'll start episode 4, 5, and 6, which will be a 3-part trilogy. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, the link is in the chat again. And will be in the description, so you can check that out.
Yeah. Here we go. All right. Well, that's all. That's the majority of the stuff that I got, Gary.
That's me done as well. So.
That's perfect timing because they're texting me on my other phone that I need to be back in about 8 minutes. It takes about 6 minutes to get back. So
all right.
But guys, I thank you for the support, and thank you for the questions. It's good to reminisce.
Thanks for joining us. It's been an honor.
If anybody wants to get in touch with me or my office, they can email admin@davidheavener.tv, or they can even call. We have an 800 number, 844-806-0006, if they want any of my movies or T-shirts or stuff like that. And of course, we have David Heavener TV if you want to sign up and become a subscriber, or go to lastevangelist.com if you want to help fund this second episode.
Yeah. Well, we'll share that on our channels as well.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Right.
Take care.
Take care then. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. There we go.
All right.
So thanks.
Well, there we go. That was the one and only David Heavener.
Still Kill Crazy.
Kill Crazy is still my favorite.
I would admit, after watching it again, I didn't really enjoy it. I wish I had the Blu-ray, but I only had the preview version off on YouTube. But
yeah, the very pixelated.
That's the one.
That one, yeah, that one. All right, guys. Well,
right,
I guess we'll get out of here.
Yep. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Thank you
for letting me do this.
Thank you.
So say goodbye. Goodbye. Thank you for all that. Yeah, I missed that.
I'm the end.
Yeah. He's definitely the answer. Look at that face. Thanks, guys. See you next time.